Hey everyone, my name is Alexa Corey and I've been a hairstylist for 14 years. Today I wanted to share with you guys how I've recently transformed my color inventory to where I'm spending almost half as much as I was spending before. So, as you know, it's super expensive out there in the hair color world and it's super easy to overspend on our hair color. This kept happening to me over and over again. So for a little bit of context, I rent my chair 3 days a week. I use my chair personally 2 days a week and my assistant uses it 1 day a week, where she pays me a commission on what she earns that day. So we have 2 of us using 1 chair 3 days a week, right? Okay. And my color inventory was costing me like $900 a month or more. So I just felt like every single time I showed up at the salon, we were out of what we needed. We were going to the store over and over again, always purchasing new stuff. And then I just never had enough. I never had what I needed. I never had what I wanted. And it was just all in all, like I kind of just felt like it was overwhelming. And honestly, like I was failing at running my salon business. I got really lucky and I just happened to be watching this decluttering video on YouTube, and she was talking about how we can only manage a certain amount of inventory, and when our inventory is just too much for us to handle, that's when we get cluttered and crazed and too much going on in our lives. When I was watching this, I was like, oh my God, this isn't like necessarily me at home, but it's me at work. Like my salon inventory, I don't even know what I have. I don't know what's gonna be there when I get to work. All I know is I am bleeding money on this pile of shit that sits in my fucking cabinet, right? So maybe you're a new stylist and you wanna have a good idea of like what to store when you are about to rent your booth or whatever. Or maybe you're somebody that's been doing hair for a really long time and you feel the same way that I felt, where you were just bleeding money to run this business and you're not even working like that many days a week. Now, I like to carry a full color stock, meaning I want any client to be able to come and sit in my chair and I don't want to have to think about if I have their color. I want to have reds. If my client wants to have copper hair that day, I want to just have coppers to choose from. She wants to be violet or mahogany. I want to be able to just have that in my cabinet and have what I need to do my job. I don't love consulting ahead of time. I don't work that many days a week. I don't want to spend time doing a consultation. I just want you to come in, sit in my chair, and I just want to do your hair, okay? So that's how I like to work, and I understand not everybody likes to carry a full color stock, but I think if you are someone who does like to carry a full color stock, or you're interested in how to do it better, keep watching. Like I said before, I was spending way too much money on my color. When I looked at my cabinet, it felt clunky, it felt overwhelming, it felt expensive, and it honestly just felt really difficult to maintain. So I did 4 steps to really overhaul my inventory. The first thing that I did to lessen my color inventory and stop spending so much damn money was deciding that I was only going to carry the even colored numbers. So for example, levels 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now, I do have a few colors I wanted to stock in addition to that. So color number 1, for example, in my color range, we have a 788, which is a double violet, and I love that for like toning brunettes. So I'm keeping my 788. I also like to use an 110 every once in a while, so keeping those ones as well. But for the main body of my color range, I'm only going to carry the even numbers. This means if I want to create a level 5, I'm just going to mix my 4 and my 6 and create a 5, okay? I had a couple of formulas that were like 4.5 or levels 7.5 or something like that. What I'll do for that is mix 2 parts of my darker and 1 part of my lighter. So if my client was previously a 4.5, I'm gonna do 2 parts 4.0 whatever, and 1 part of my level 6 whatever reflect I'm going for, okay? So is it exactly the most perfect match to the 4.5 I was doing before of like a half 4.5, 5? Probably not, but is it close enough? Yes. And is it saving me a ton of money? Yes. So step number 2 is to stop carrying any pre-mixed shades. So I went through my color line and I removed any of the pre-mixed shades, meaning my gold ashes, my beige ashes, my chocolate ash. What else did I have that I got rid of? A lot of things. It doesn't matter what shades they are. I'm just talking about those pre-mixed shades. In my color line, I have beige, gold, ash, chocolate, neutral, anything I could possibly want. I have more than that, but I can't think of it right now. Anything I could possibly want to create the shade. I decided I don't need to carry chocolate and ash. I can make them myself, and I can make a more custom version that suits my client's needs even better by just creating it myself. Maybe I want it to be a really ashy with like a little bit of chocolate. Maybe I want vice versa, whatever, it doesn't matter. But now I can customize it even more, and I'm not spending money on all these little in-between shades. I'm just spending money on the core foundation of my color range so that I can keep things in line with my budget. Number 3, I'm just carrying one lightener. So before, I used to have a lightener for like my 6 levels, then I had a 9 level lightener, then I had a cream lightener, then sometimes I have a clay lightener. It's just too many effing lighteners. It's too much to keep track of. It's too much inventory. It's too much space. It's too much. It's too much. So I took my favorite lightener, and then I'm just gonna use that one and mix it to the desired consistency with the desired developer, and everything is fine. I've been doing this now for over a month and it's fine, it's perfect. Do I even miss my other lighteners? No, I really don't, honestly. I was missing the money in my pocket a lot more than I'm missing my lighteners. So now for the final step, step number 4. Once you've decided everything that you're going to carry, so you've decided whether you're doing the even numbers or the odd numbers, and then maybe you have a few in between that you're going to stock because you just love those colors, right? Your 11.0, whatever. Maybe you do have a couple pre-mixes that you don't think you can recreate and that you just love. I had one, mine was beige violet. My color range has a gorgeous beige violet. I love it. I don't want to mess with trying to mix it myself. I just want that tone. So I kept that, couple others like that if I felt it necessary. So my one lightener. Then once you decide what you're gonna keep, you are going to create a spreadsheet. And in this spreadsheet, you are going to list the names of your products, every single thing you're going to carry. I included what I want to carry, styling products, my hairsprays, shine spray, mousse, etc. Okay, I also put on there foils, gloves, plastic caps. You're going to put this all in one nice long big list. Then you're going to put next to it how many of each item you want to carry. So for example, for me, for 4s, I was always going through so many 4.0s. I was always freaking out of 4.0, always. So I decided that I just want to always stock 3 4.0s. So in that column, I put 3 next to the 4.0. So then in the column next to that one, you're gonna put how many you need, right? So you're gonna put how many you need. So as you're going through your color stock, you're gonna look at your 4.0s. Oh, well, you used 2 this week, so you need 2. So in that little column, row, whatever, 4.0, you're gonna put 2 needed. Now on my spreadsheet, I also put a list of all the prices too. That way at the end of the week, when I'm going through how much money I made, I can truly decide how much I want to reinvest back into my inventory, okay? So sometimes we don't always want to repurchase every single, there's hair on my face, okay. Sometimes we don't want to repurchase every single thing that we used. Maybe we just didn't have a great week and we don't want to spend that much money, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you had a great week and you just feel like you really want to reinvest that money back into the business. Either way, we just want to track how much money we brought in. And then before we place our orders, we just want to track about how much money we're about to spend on this order. So that has really helped me stay in line on kind of budgeting, managing my salon inventory, is knowing about how much I'm gonna spend before tax. Just knowing how much I wanna spend on my products before I order is so helpful. And now with this new system, I've been able to make it around like every 2 weeks to place an order. So I know if I spend about 200 one week, and then in another 2 weeks I can spend another 200, and then that gives me kind of like 100-ish to play with. Either way, this has still been a massive savings for cutting down your salon expenses. We are in an industry where it is so easy to overspend. So I feel less overwhelmed. I feel so thankful to have discovered this method. It has seriously saved me so much money. Once again, I was spending like $900 a month on my color inventory. Now I'm spending about $500, and I'm gonna keep trying to dial this in so that I can really just keep my spending nice and tight so that my business can run the way that it's supposed to. Yeah, so let me know if you found this video helpful. I hope you found it helpful. If so, go ahead and give it a like. Thanks so much. Bye.